Did you know? Before the invention of trains, we used to run wagons on your mom. Oh, the memories. Let's just keep on going right here. Give her a little highlight.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. Dina Thorslund, former unified champion Dina Thorslund, had a successful comeback fight in her native Denmark yesterday opposite the ring Almudena Alvarez. Durable fighter who came to fight, helped to make it a fight. Dina looked a little bit flat yesterday. Just a little. All the time off, missing out all of last year might have something to do with that, in tandem with fighting at a much higher weight than she normally fights, because yesterday's fight was fought in the featherweight division, where Dina normally campaigns at bantam. She won a WBC interim title at featherweight yesterday. No idea what she's going to do with it, since she means to move back down to 118 for the Shakur Johnson fight. Immediately after the fight, she called her out. So did her manager. Her longtime manager, Lee Eaton, took to his social media saying, Dina versus Neeks is the next fight the WBC will be mandating next week. Dina Thorslund herself said, let's fucking go, Shakur Johnson. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. Everyone knows it. I am the queen of bantamweight, and I am coming for my throne. Let's be women and give the sport of boxing and the fans the fight they deserve. Catching wind of all of this, Shakur Johnson, the reigning champion, earlier today took to her own social media to respond.
People messaging me about the recent call-outs at the moment. Like, I know I'd be surprised if there wasn't a call-out. It just makes sense, you know. I have all the bouts in the division, what everyone is working for and what they want. So I understand that I'm the hunted. I understand I have what everyone wants, and bring it on. I'll fight whoever is put in front of me, whoever is next in line. But that's what you get being a champion. You got all eyes on you and everyone wants what you have.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's what they say. The thing about yesterday is Dina Thorslund was not the only fighter fighting for a Shakur Johnson showdown. There was also Francesca Hennessy in the main event of what was a boxer show, boxing for a WBC interim title in the bantamweight division. She won her fight and, in effect, brought herself that much closer to the WBC title, the one that Shakur Johnson holds. So out of those two fights for Shakur Johnson, the Francesca Hennessy fight would be a lot more winnable than the Dina Thorslund fight, as Francesca is a lot greener and a lot less experienced than Dina Thorslund. There are also the promotional politics to address, that Francesca is promoted by Boxer, where both Dina and Shakur are with MVP. I vaguely recall hearing a blurb that they might do the fight between them in May.
We'll see.
If what Lee Eaton said is true, and the World Boxing Council are set to order the fight between Dina and Shakur next week,
Francesca's out of the picture.
at least momentarily. If you would have asked me about this fight a year, maybe a little over a year ago, 2 years, I would have said Dina Thorslund wins the fight and wins the fight easily. But because she has to boil back down to 118 after having not fought there in a while, and because Shakur Johnson is on a great run of form,
She's gotten better and really stepped into this more aggressive style of fighting. When I first saw Shakur, she had the look of a boxer, a mover, a cerebral fighter, but over time, in the Suzy Ramadan fight, the two Nina Hughes fights, how she performed against Shurita Metcalf, she's really, more recent Amanda Gaye fight, she's really taken to pressure fighting, this more aggressive style of fighting, stepping into her punches and throwing combinations, attempting to mow down her opponents. Is that how she's gonna fight Dina Thorslund? Probably.
Now, Dina Thorslund has experience against pressure fighters. She's seen that style more than once and done fairly well against it.
Can argue that Shakur Johnson is, however, a better fighter than Mary Romero, a better and more experienced fighter than Serene Satine. Those were pressure fighters in many ways, so is she, but she is a better grade of pressure fighter.
Physically strong, persistent, imposing. This really is the very best fight to make at 118 pounds right now. That is already a very deep division, and winning a belt here will not be easy so long as both Dina and Shakur are around. I view this as a much closer fight now than I did a year, 2 years ago.
I'm gonna have to reevaluate who I think wins now in 2026. Congratulations to Dina on a successful comeback.
Now it's time for another installment of what is fast becoming one of the most popular segments here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail.
A guy who goes by the name Grubman1992 didn't like that I called Shakur Stevenson's performance dominant, albeit boring, anticlimactic, and bear in mind, I picked Shakur Stevenson to win the fight exactly how he won the fight. And for weeks I said that it's not going to be a fun fight to watch. It's going to be just Shakur picking off Teofimo. Long range. Brubman said, you should keep that same energy for Josh Kelly that you have for Shakur and Devin.
What energy is that?
To which I responded, oh, because I'm such a big Josh Kelly fan? Motherfucker, I don't like him either. Now stop whining. To which Brubman responded, I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy. Stop fuck you though, big dog.
What hypocrisy? What could he possibly have a problem with? That I enjoyed Kelly versus Murtazaliev more than Stevenson versus Lopez?
Well, what was different about those two fights?
In one of those fights, both guys hit the deck. Josh Kelly dropped Bakram Murtazaliev in the 4th, and Bakram dropped Josh in the 9th. In that fight, it was a tale of two halves. It wasn't one-sided or repetitive like Shakur's fight. Josh Kelly dominated most of the first half, and Bakram started coming on in the 2nd. It wasn't boring.
You need me to explain that to you?
Yes, he does, because he thinks you're only going easy on Josh because he's a white man. That's what it really is, and that's the quote-unquote hypocrisy that he thinks he's pointing out. I don't know if this guy's new here,
or if he's seen any of the other videos I've made in regards to Josh Kelly, but I don't have a high opinion of Josh Kelly. I don't like his style. I've said that more than once. I'm already explaining myself a lot more than I would like, because I don't owe you an explanation.
If what you think is that Josh Kelly is getting preferential treatment because he's a white man, then you can go ahead and think that and suck a fuck. Suck a dick.
Eat a dick, bitch.
Sensitive little hoe. Is that what you do on the weekend? Comb the internet looking for online strangers to argue with? Because of your fragile sense of self? Your fragile little ego? You're mad that I'm calling Shakur boring, even though on so many occasions, a lot of people have called him boring. Boxing beats and rhymes.
He actually likes pure boxers a lot more than I do, and even he called it boring. He said it was anticlimactic in his post-fight recap. Because it was.
So that Brubman can come here and call me hypocritical for enjoying Kelly versus Murtazaliev more than Lopez versus Stevenson. Well, Kelly Murtazaliev had knockdowns. This fight didn't.
Kelly versus Murtazaliev was a tale of two halves, whereas this fight wasn't. You actually need somebody to point that out to you?
Yes, he does, because he's retarded.
Yes, he does, because he thinks everyone who's not the same race as him is out to get him. To that I'll say, keep thinking that and go suck a fuck. Suck a dick. And see if anyone cares. If that is how you feel about the rest of the world that is not the same race or complexion as you, then you shouldn't even bother with their opinions if you've already convinced yourself that they're out to get you or have a bias against you.
Because this is more about you than it is about Shakur. If it were about Shakur, I've called him boring, Devin boring, Sky Nicholson boring, Josh Kelly boring.
Boring!
I would ask you, what do all 4 of those fighters have in common? But you wouldn't know, because you're only focused on the one thing you have in common with Shakur.
Race.
So maybe you should only watch YouTube channels from content creators the same race as you. That way you don't have to worry about if what they're saying is biased.
Or bigoted.
That's what you're insinuating. That's what you're trying to say without saying it, as if I'm a fucking Josh Kelly fan. Are you serious?
Oh, he's stupid.
And the thing about stupid people is they always like to hang around the perimeter of smart people. Try to engage in the conversation. Try to feel like they belong. Already I can tell you, you don't belong here. If that's what you think, keep thinking that.
Do it.
Keep thinking that, and don't let the door hit you on the way out, because there are any number of YouTube boxing channels you can watch where you won't have to worry about
what you're worried about.
Instead of crying in my comment section when I call a boring fucking fight a boring fucking fight.
I'm not gonna grovel, and I'm not gonna apologize because you're sensitive. If that's what you think, keep thinking that, and fuck off.
Won't be seeing ya.
I told y'all, Shakur Stevenson is a bad man. Yeah, boxing, this is not about power. That's not what it's just about. Nope, not at all. Hell to the no. It's about skill, baby. The thinking man sport. That's what it's about. Yeah. Teofimo frustrated, upset. Look, he don't know what to do. He getting his ass whooped. He getting whooped.
He was. That is Timothy Bradley, who was having a much overdue I told you so moment during the fight between Shakur and Teofimo. He's not the only one. Terence Crawford, who was seen ringside.
Yeah, he was trolling the Lopez's as well. After the fight, he took to his social media and said, "They mad. It's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do it. Fuck him. Fuck Teo. Fuck his daddy. Fuck his sister, and anyone else that has a problem."
They brought this on themselves, the Lopez's. They're the ones who, over time, made an enemy out of Terence Crawford needlessly for a fight they knew they were never going to have. A fight I don't think they ever really wanted to have, but they saw that Terence Crawford was buzzing after the Errol Spence Jr. fight, all of the praise, the plaudits he was getting. They wanted to clout chase him, and so they did. Talking about they would do this to Crawford, and they would do that to Crawford.
You wouldn't do shit. You couldn't get around Shakur's jab. What the fuck would you do with Crawford's?
After the fight, in the ring, I could see him going up to Teofimo Lopez's dad, who also partook in a bit of trolling during fight week. Now, he's the one being trolled.
Occupational hazard. If you're gonna talk shit, shit is gonna get talked.
When you don't deliver, talked about you, talked about your son.
Let me jog your memory. Just a few things that Teofimo Lopez has said up until this point.
Puerto Ricans, man, I tear they butt up. Puerto Ricans are easy to beat. He's the most softest fighter in the division. He's one-dimensional.
I fought 2 white boys. Beat both of them. I need a black boy now. Whichever monkey wants to get the banana.
I seen it. I seen it.
And that was a good one. Whichever monkey wants the banana.
It's the fact that this guy came to America to give me bananas and watermelon with a note on it. It's unprofessional, and I feel like it's racist.
Some of the stuff that Teofimo Lopez has said in the build-up of this weekend's fight, some of the behaviors that I don't feel the least bit sorry for him when he gets demoralized, when he loses, and I said that he would.
Had a guy who goes by the name Peter Montgomery tell me, Teo got spanked, but would still beat Punk Davis. Shakur wouldn't even be close.
Wait, are we talking about Keyshawn Davis? Because I don't think Teofimo would beat Keyshawn Davis. Where Shakur gave him a boxing lesson, I think Keyshawn would knock him out.
Yeah, I do.
I saw a lot of people interpret Teofimo's bigotry as being for promotional purposes. He's just trying to sell himself and trying to sell a fight.
Cookie cutter explanation. That doesn't make it appropriate. That doesn't make it necessary. Even if it's a route that some other fighters have gone down, that doesn't mean you have to do it. And when you do it, you're only channeling something that is already there.
Because if it weren't already there, that wouldn't be an active thought in your mind. That wouldn't be something that you feel you can resort to. You'd find some other means of promoting yourself and promoting a fight, a rivalry. You only did that because it's already a part of you.
It's already there. You just brought it out so that people could see it, and some people liked it. That's why I think some of these guys have been so pro Teofimo. I've had 1 or 2 stragglers that periodically visit this channel to support Teofimo.
What I think they like about him is his bigotry, which is neither here nor there because the prediction stuck and he lost the way I said he would lose. He's now taken to his social media on the eve of his second professional loss, saying that he's headed to 147.
Well,
already knew that was coming. Perhaps the saving grace for Teofimo, in spite of how limited he looked this weekend, is not everybody's Shakur Stevenson. Not everybody has that same speed and timing and footwork, and that today's welterweight division is by and large one of the weakest welterweight divisions I've ever seen. Up there, he's gonna find a lot of little guys that moved up like himself in Rolly Romero and Mario Barrios, Ryan Garcia,
Devin Haney.
So long as he can keep his head on straight, losing to Shakur Stevenson is not actually the end of the world. Suffering 2 career losses, there are a lot of other fighters out there that have lost more fights than that and still have big fights incoming, like Derek Chisora and Deontay Wilder. So if Teofimo Lopez can get it together, keep his head on straight, and make a few adjustments to his corner, he can get back on top. He can maybe win a belt at 147. I could see that.
The biggest thing is making adjustments to his corner, because for years now, people have been saying, and I've been saying, that his father has outgrown his usefulness, and he can't learn any more from Senior.
He needs somebody new. He needs somebody else. Someone with more experience, more time in, accustomed to training world-level fighters, champions. It's time. At your third weight.
He's got to make the same big boy decision that Brian Norman made. When he lost to Devin Haney,
he decided that he doesn't want his father to be his head trainer anymore. He needs somebody else. And so he got Derek James. Teofimo, he's got to do that same thing. His career is not over. He's still young.
There's still time to get better.
Now what becomes of Shakur? Some people would call that dominant. They would. I would. Some people would call that a masterclass, in a manner of speaking, and I think it was. But even with that,
I don't know that he can become a star fighting the way that he fights.
In the boxing bubble, he's a star. He's a well-known guy in this boxing sphere. But to reach that casual audience, you need to be more than just effective and efficient. You need to be electrifying. And I wasn't electrified by Shakur Stevenson's performance yesterday. Neither was Shannon Sharp.
Boxing clinic. Ocho, just look, for me, Shakur is a great fighter, but I wouldn't pay my hard-earned money to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for tickets to go see him.
No,
it's just not.
Okay, hey, give me a better understanding on why you wouldn't. Now me, as much as
because I want to see some fighting. I don't want to see no and people like, well, that's. If you go back and look at Floyd at 130, 135, 140, Floyd was getting people out of there. Look at Sugar Ray at that same weight, was getting people out of there. Look at Hearns. You look at Sweet Pea Whitaker. You look at all the great fighters that fought at 30, 35, 40. They were getting people out of there. I just don't think this style. He's not gonna get enough people fighting this style, Ocho, to get him that $30, $40 million payday that he's.
You know what? I think he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it anyway because he's the best at what he does. He's the best at 135. He's the best at 140, and his style. I mean, it's what it is. The point of the game of boxing is to hit and not get hit. Now, he's not like a heavyweight. He's not like some of the other 135 and 140 pounders that get people out of there. He does have knockouts. I think maybe 11, maybe 12, something like that. But it's probably not to the volume or magnitude that most people that enjoy boxing would like. But for me, I like pure boxers. I like watching the mastery from round to round.
I agree with Shannon's sentiments because I often express them myself. I'm just not a fan of pure boxers. That style, it's not my cup of tea. But Ocho is right as well that could Shakur Stevenson still go on to make a $40 million purse? Perhaps, so long as Turki Al-Sheikh keeps wanting to use him on his Ring magazine cards, anything is possible.
But that's basically Turkey overpaying you, paying you above market value, because to appeal to the casuals, the casual observer, the casual audience, outside of the hardcores,
it's near impossible to do with that base style. You pitching a shutout, you having a masterclass, essentially means there's not a lot of action. There's just not a lot going on. And that is what draws people to combat sports.
The brutality. If your fights don't provide that,
you can only appeal but to so many people.